some celebrity brands endure without making waves. I think that Gwyneth is an interesting sort of person in the culture in the sense that has always been very much like, this is who I am, and I'm going to ask these questions, and I'm not going to have sort of my own existence in a castle on the hill and then stage like some Us Weekly grocery shopping pics. And she's very much like bringing people along for the ride and not pretending to be other than what she is. So I think it's really interesting that there is so much that drives people so crazy. Because in a way I think it's a lot more disingenuous when celebrities pretend like their life is just like the average person when they're just not.
Right, when it's not.
But I think that we ask questions. I think anytime you challenge the status quo, anytime you suggest that maybe there's a different way, it's very threatening to people. And that's never the intent. Like, we're curious. So we sort of take the position of the reader always. We're not experts. And I think sometimes the pushback comes from a place of people feeling like I was just talking about this with Gwyneth on our podcast about conscious uncoupling, which is a silly term, obviously, but an incredible idea. And I think she thinks that a lot of the anger about it was because people felt inherently judged. So they felt like, oh, now you're saying like I fucked up my divorce. Yeah. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah. Yes.
I fucked up my own divorce, and my kids are going to be a disaster, or my parents messed me like, which was not at all what she was saying.
Right.
It was more of this like, let's all like collectively acknowledge that there has to be a better way to do this, and this is terrible. And it's already a terrible thing and very traumatizing. So, and then you see people kind of get over it. And now it's becoming much more normalized. So she's really used to playing that role. Someone has to do it. Like, someone has to go through the bushes first and get scratched. So I am very appreciative that she is willing to do it.
And take it. And
keep going.
So what would you like the experience of Goop to be? Like, what is your goal when people come to the website or come to one of your summits? Like, what do you want them to experience that people may not be expecting by just reading the New York Times articles about it?
Right. So I think one of the primary theses that we sort of bang on about is that we all have a lot more autonomy over our health and well-being than we think. I think we live in a culture where it's like the answers are elsewhere, or the answers are in the doctor's office, or that somehow we're sort of powerless. Like, life's going to happen to you. You don't have that much control. And I think that one of the things that's been so meaningful about my job running the content team is, and experiencing it in my own life, is that small changes can have this massive ripple through your own life. You've probably experienced this too, but even sort of like opening up the box to re-examine your relationship with your mother, and like maybe the anger that you've been holding on to against her, or
mama drama.
Mama drama, exactly. And like how that's continuing to victimize you, and how you're victimizing yourself through that pain or trauma, or cleaning up your diet for a week and then seeing like, oh my God, when I eat a little better, I feel dramatically different. That's all it takes. Like, that's the idea of the summit. That's the idea of Goop in general, is these small changes which build to like a totally different life sometimes. And feeling like, oh, I can actually change the outcome here dramatically myself.